Hello there, everyone. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you very much for lending me your time and your ear and listening to another idea that will work out in the Wii U. And this is the 100th video for this series. Obviously, at this point, I've done well over 100 game ideas for the Wii U, but several of the videos were multiple games together as sets or pairings. So moving on, like I've been thinking about what I was going to do for this video for a while. Like, I procrastinated a bit, because I was thinking about it so much. But I had finally decided on doing Pokemon World as the idea for the 100th video for this series. And there's a lot of things I could think about that will work out very well for this. And I'm going to say this right now. I don't believe that something like this is going to happen for the Wii U, even though I know it would be a good fit for it. It's not going to happen for it because obviously by next year at the very least, the Wii U will be getting replaced. Like, there's no confirmation of any dates or anything. That's what I'm saying, at the very least. Things could change drastically from what I believe to what actually might be happening. Just depends on what happens at E3. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I kind of, I've been thinking about this, because there are so many regions in the Pokemon universe, and I think the best way to do a massive Pokemon World type of game, like a home console Pokemon game, which would have to be done by Pokemon Company and Game Freak, but to do a massive home console Pokemon game, I'm thinking let's stick to the basic gameplay formula of all of the handheld games, obviously. All of the series from Pokemon Red, Blue, and Green, and Yellow, all the way through to X and Y, and now Sun and Moon. The gameplay formula that has been around for the longest time, keep that gameplay formula. Don't change it. Stick with that. Because that's too obvious. What I would want to do is have people pick a region to start in. You could pick Kanto or Johto or any of the other regions that are available to be played in throughout the series. You have the option of choosing one, which will determine the starter types that you get. Well, not the starter types, but whichever region you pick. Whether you pick Generation 1's region, Generation 2, 3, 4, 5, or whichever region you pick, you get the starters from that region to choose from as your Pokemon. That's the first thing that is established. So, obviously, whatever region you end up, you'll be talking to a Pokemon doctor or specialist or professor or whoever the fuck. You'll be talking to them. They'll give you your 3 options to choose from, and then you'll pick one. Where this would deviate slightly would be is the fact that you would not be given a specific rival. Well, maybe you could have a specific rival, and that rival, again, depends on what region you pick. Then obviously they're going to pick a Pokemon that is going to be your Pokemon's weakness. That's how it's always been. Let that be. Let that stay the same. Keep that as part of the formula. Basically, you're locked into your region, which is all of the Pokemon gyms that you have to face there. And then you have all the Pokemon gyms there. Then you have to take on the Elite Four for that region in order to progress into other regions. So this, by default, is going to be a long experience. Like, you have no other choice but to play in your region to unlock another one. You have to finish out your region to unlock another one. Once you have finished and you've become the Pokemon champion of your particular region in game, all of the other not other worlds, but all of the other regions become accessible to you through travel, obviously, foot, bike, using different Pokemon to fly, or getting on different vehicles to take you from one location to the next. Which I think that would be a good idea. Like, that way it extends the gameplay for people. Now, I think people might not agree, and I can understand why people might not agree with me on that, but I think that's a good idea. From there on, as long as you are playing, from there on you're playing the game. You're playing the game, exploring the other areas, able to go ahead and capture other Pokemon from different regions to build up a collection. Gosh, this would take a lot of time, and I know this would take a lot of time to do. You build up your collection of Pokemon, like you'll get upgrade. Once you unlock all the other regions, your Pokedex will get upgraded so that you could have the listings for all of the Pokemon that are in the game. Gosh, that's a lot. It's just thinking about it is kind of overwhelming, but I can kind of see why it's been partially difficult for them to decide to actually put out a Pokemon game for home console. Just thinking about it, it's just so overwhelming a thought. So I'm like, man, as a game, this would be amazing, but it would be a huge endeavor. But let me get back on track with what I was thinking. You've unlocked the regions. You have an updated Pokedex. Obviously, you're going to be catching Pokemon from other regions and stuff like that. Once you have beaten the Elite Four of your region, you do not have to play through all of the other regions in order to... just say you don't have to play through them from the beginning to the end to take on the Elite Four of the other regions. Actually, no, I take that back. You would have to take on the other gym leaders of each region, but you would have restrictions on what you could do. So basically, it would be like starting over. It wouldn't be completely starting over because you'd be bringing Pokemon in with you, but the badges, in particular in those regions, you wouldn't be able to go above a certain level at certain gyms. So like how if people remember how Pokemon Stadium was set up when you played it, you had like a level cap that you couldn't go above for certain battles in particular situations. There were like qualifiers that you couldn't go above, saying you wouldn't necessarily need these badges to be able to use the Pokemon that you own, but you wouldn't be able to take certain Pokemon past a certain level into gyms with you to battle. Like, they would be barred from battle because they're already too powerful for that gym, basically. You can use them wherever you want outside of the gym situations. Those you would have to have Pokemon specifically within those power ranges, within those level ranges, in order to be able to take on the gym leaders. So that starter Pokemon that you had from the beginning of the game, that you went all the way through to the Elite Four with in your starting region, likely won't be able to be used in any of those battles except for maybe like the last gym leader, whereas that would be all the restrictions are taken off. And then again, the Elite Four of that region until you're basically Pokemon champion of all of the regions, and then you're Pokemon champion of the basically, of the Pokemon world, and then that would unlock another Elite Four, like the Pokemon World Elite Four. I know it sounds funny, but it's actually kind of like, it's just like a building concept. It's repetition and playing the game, and like obviously all these different characters will have different strategy types and things like that for you to deal with. Good gosh, I'm just thinking, like, man, aren't there like 600 some odd Pokemon? Like, and then think about this. That's why I like I said, it's an overwhelming thought. Like, it's a concept a lot of people want to see, and it's something I want to see. But like, now I'm just talking about like just straight campaign if you're just playing it by yourself. Now, I would love for something like this to have online play. I would think it would be a good thing for this type of game, because Pokemon is meant to be played socially. So if it's a home console Pokemon adventure game, then online play would definitely benefit it, because you're not likely going to have two people playing on the same console to try to battle each other. I wouldn't think you would anyway. Moving from there, other players. Now, what would happen? What I would imagine to do is not to make this MMO styled, because that might be too problematic. What I would think would be a good way to do this is, I guess the best example I can think of is using Dragon Ball Xenoverse when you decide to play solo, play by yourself. Other players who are playing the game online are they're in your game represented by avatars. Like, so basically those players are there in your world, and you see them as NPCs. And I didn't think about this, but character customization, outside of just picking boy and girl, being able to determine your skin color, your hairstyle, your outfits, and stuff like that, that would be essential to this, because everyone would be their own individual characters, and they're not playing with predetermined trainer characters. They're playing with their own individual characters. So that way, when you see someone who's like you, but obviously not like you. I was fighting off that yawn, I'm sorry. But you basically see an NPC character that's kind of similar to your character, but obviously they'll be their own individual character, because that's another player's character. And through this method, you'd be able to issue challenges and possibly battle other people, whether you're battling them live or you're battling a strategy type that they have set up. Like, and again, that's something else that would take a while to implement, just to have your NPC be able to play and win battles. Not your NPC, but for your character to be able to play against other people when you're not available to play. Like, say you're in your character might show up in someone else's world in their region, but you're taking on a gym battle. Obviously, if somebody wants to battle you, they can't battle you because you're in the gym battle at the moment. Actually, no, just scratch that, because writing the code out for having your trainer to actively mimic your strategies would take a long ass time, especially when you consider the number of Pokemon that there are. So, scratch that. If you're in the middle of a battle, then like, it'll send you a message and give you a notification and say, so and so wants to battle, and you can choose to accept or decline that battle offer. But if you're in the middle of a battle already, it'll just wait until you're done. So basically, there would be a messaging system within the game, and as soon as you come out of the battle that you're in, it would leave you. You'd have notifications pop up. Oh my gosh, on-screen notifications. You'd have a notification pop up, on your screen to let you know you've received the message from such and such. And this could be used to trade Pokemon, or to trade Pokemon or to battle, or to trade items and such. All the standard Pokemon fanfare that people who are familiar with the series are familiar with anyway. You can also check out these people. Like, you can look at your opponent's party, not necessarily their levels, but you can see what Pokemon they have as their party. Like their 6 that are in their party. You can see those Pokemon. You're not going to be able to see their levels no matter what. So, like, you won't be able. That might not be a good idea. Never mind. You should be able to see their levels because crap. This is what happens when you don't get a whole lot of sleep. You start yawning all the time. Because I was just thinking about that. That would lead people to some messed up situations. Because if you don't know that you're trying to challenge like a trainer who's at like level 100 and you're like a level 22 trainer, or like your average is level 22, you might not want to make that battle. You might not want to try out challenging that person to a battle. So yeah, you should be able to at least see the levels, but you won't be able to see their other stats. You can just see the Pokemon's name, their level, and the type of Pokemon that they are. Like, as far as the party for other players, that the characters are the NPC models while you're playing. Like, there was a lot of other stuff I had thought about. I would like for there to be, like, at least as far as my thinking goes, I would like there to be a weather system in the game, along with the day-night system. Like, just to, and it's not like that's something that's new to Pokemon. I think, though, that the weather should be regionally based. Like, so, like, certain regions, like, certain towns and like the different bigger regions have different weather effects going on with them. Like, and that's something that happens with Pokemon, but there should be like some sort of visual effect that actually happens. Like, if your trainer's walking through snow, they should actually be walking through snow. Like, you know how you walk when snow falls and it's thick and heavy and you're walking it, you walk a bit slower because you're trying to be careful about your footing. And that's something I would like to see in a game for Pokemon. Man, there was something else I was thinking and I can't think about it anymore. I can't remember what it was. Said the day-night cycle, obviously for catching different Pokemon during the day or evening. Like, certain times of day you'll find certain Pokemon. So, like, put them on like a 6-hour rotation. Like, where you have your morning rotation, your afternoon rotation, your evening rotation, and then your nighttime rotation of Pokemon. Like, and that gives you options as far as how many. Like, that allows for you to find a lot of different Pokemon in a short amount of space, in a short area, which would be cool. And it's a good way to be able to combine all of the various versions of the games together. Like, Kanto region would be red, blue, green, and yellow, obviously. So, like, the day-night cycle, having Pokemon rotate out every 6 hours, as far as what you can find and catch there, would allow for all of those Pokemon to be in the regions that they're supposed to be in, which would be pretty cool. There was something else I was thinking about, like, and something I know would be really cool to do. Another thing that would be great would to be have stadium tournaments, like actual Pokemon stadium. Like, so every region would have their own Pokemon stadium, and to be able to participate in the tournaments there, outside of doing the Elite Four, like, this is just like player tournaments. Outside of doing like the actual campaign tournament, you have to go to and they can have like 3 or 4 of them per region. It doesn't have to be just one. But if you want to participate within that region, you have to find one of those stadiums to go to. So maybe it should just be one, so it's less confusing. Yeah, it would just be one massive stadium that's like that you have to be able to be that you have to be in if you want to participate in those tournaments. And for those tournaments, you can only use Pokemon from that region to kind of, I guess. No, that's not necessarily fair. But like I'm just thinking of like people running around with overpowered, like somebody going in with an overpowered Charizard to take on someone else's, like, yeah, I can't even name what I was thinking. Man, I've rambled a lot. Well, it's an undertaking that would be so massive, and as somebody who's recently gotten back into the series within like the last year and a half, like I'm like, man, like I really want to see this, and now I'm starting to think I'm understanding where Pokemon Company and Game Freak are having issue with doing a home console Pokemon game, because they probably want to, but it's not as easy to do one when you try to think out all the varying factors. Yeah, but I think I'm done for now, because there's still so much more I could think about, but it's a lot of stuff, and I'd probably be doing this video for like an hour if I really sat down and really thought everything out. And I'm already over 20 some odd minutes. So thank you guys very much for listening and humoring me and hearing me yawn a couple times, because I have not had a whole lot of sleep, and that's more or less my fault. It's my fault because I've been playing video games late at night, so I've been tired. But yeah, thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears up for more of my stuff, and until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out.